Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Project Ozone 3 Kappa Mode. Oh yeah, guys, last episode, we ended up getting Applied Energistics up and running. We made ourselves a crafting terminal and the ME drive, and since then, I made a second ME drive, and I filled it all full of more 1K ME storage cells, and we got rid of the other storage shelf that we weren't able to fit into just the one ME drive. And since then, I've also gone through our Applied Energistics system and kind of looked at all of the different items that are in here and gotten rid of like all of the things that I think that we will never use again. Things like vector plates and random seeds and this and that, you know, just things that are taking up space that we don't really need in here anymore. Now, granted, there are some things in here that we don't technically need, like we probably don't need these in here and these in here and things like that, but for the most part, we got enough storage space. We don't see any red lights on here, and things are looking pretty good. So, aside from doing this, I have spent a large amount of time trying to figure out how we're going to hook up our Applied Energistics system. And generally what we do when we do that is we figure out where we're going to put our ME controller, and then from there, we can start running our wires and figuring out things. And that's especially important if you're starting, or if you're going to be getting into P2P channels and stuff. You don't want to have to keep moving your P2P, your P2Ps around, right? Well, anyway, so like I do downstairs, I went ahead and I installed this thing here, which is a 7x7x7 cube of where our ME controllers will be eventually, but they are not here now. So this is just like, this is just so we know where things are going to be, right? And I have also decided that we are going to install a proper floor underneath here. We're going to get rid of this cobblestone thing. So yes, this has required thousands upon thousands upon thousands of concrete. Oh my goodness, guys. And I think it's still like an additional 5,500 or something to fill in the spot that I have not filled in yet. I'm not exactly sure how many blocks it's been that we did this entire, I guess it's a skirt or bottom area or whatever around. But yeah, it's quite a lot of blocks that I had to place. But the nice thing about placing all of these blocks is it increases the perks that you get from Astral Sorcery since we infused ourselves with a Vetus, right? So if we go to perks, we can come into here and see that our maximum life has been increased a whole bunch of times here. In fact, I just got these 4%, 4%, 5%. It gives us a 10% increased elemental resistance. I'm not sure exactly how that works or what that's for, but anyway, maximum life, increased effectiveness of perks, but that one doesn't really matter. That's not what we care about. Maximum life here, we got a maximum life here, and then I think we did this one together. Cleansing, regenerating life may remove a negative status effect. So when we get into blood magic, and if we start using the incense altar, that gives you like soul fray or something when you right click it, and then your health starts regenerating, and you get a chance of that soul fray going away, so you can use the dagger more frequently. So this is a really good perk. Then up this way, we got 2%, 2%, mining speed, mining speed, mining speed. That doesn't really matter, but what I really want is this one right here, consistent luck, that gives you +1 level of fortune. So that's additional fortune on whatever you are mining with. So our Fortune 3 pickaxe that we have right here would give us Fortune 4. So that's going to be pretty awesome. But we can't get that yet because we are out of perks to spend. We have no additional perks ready. But you can see right here, we are halfway to our next level. So I think what I want to spend a little bit of time doing is placing some blocks and leveling up. Now, I would fill in this entire thing. Well, I was going to do it, actually. You can see I have removed like pretty much everything that's down here except for our portals and our GP source. GP stuff, I don't think we're actually using, so we can get rid of that. But portals, I didn't want to move just yet. I thought that we would go ahead and start looking at a way to not having to use these portals anymore. Yeah, we might look at the Draconic Evolution, I forget what it's called, Dislocators? Yeah, Dislocator. The pedestal, the dislocator itself doesn't seem that expensive. This recipe is definitely changed from the default recipe, but this doesn't seem that expensive. I think we have almost everything except for this sugar-infused tool rod and the Basalt rod, but everything else seemed like it was something that we could do. Blaze, Blizz, Blitz, Lunar we got, Ender Dust. I think you can just grind up Ender Pearls, and we have Draconium Dust, so this doesn't seem that bad. So you make the dislocator pedestal, you put the dislocator on, and then you can use this dislocator as many times as you want to. Otherwise, it has like 10 uses if you just take it with you. So I would like to go to where all these portals link, use a dislocator there, and then we can set up like probably up against this wall over here or something, a place where we can just come over and warp to different dimensions just by right-clicking on those. I think that's probably what we're going to end up doing. So that's things that we're going to be working on going forward. Another thing, like I said, we want to figure out our applied energistics. I want to move the controller downstairs and get that installed. We're probably going to put it right where this block is, or was, I guess. So the controller will be here, but we need cables to move stuff around, right? So in order to do that, we need Fluix crystals. And Fluix requires nether quartz, charged Certus, and redstone. Well, we don't have very many nether quartz. I mean, we can make some Fluix with this, but I would like to go gather more. So before we do that, I want to try and get that other perk by placing a bunch of blocks. Then we could go get some nether quartz, make some Fluix, make the cables, start putting our applied energistics in a better spot, and then we can move on from there. So we got some things ahead of us. Let's get started. So since we've been going through a lot of gravel and sand to make the concrete and, you know, bone meal for the white dye, I figure we should probably use some of our cobblestone that we have collected so far and start placing that. So we got triple compressed cobblestone here that turns into 9 double, which turns into a bunch of the compressed cobble. So we can place this down. Then we also have quadruple, which gives us 9 times what we just did right there. So double compressed. And now we have a whole bunch of compressed. Let's undo this one as well. Yeah, so that's quite a bit of compressed cobblestone that we have. I think that's going to be just fine. So I'll go ahead and start placing this down. I'm doing this where we have like the highest ceiling here for 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, and then using our wand. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's a full stack. So now we just need to go up as many stacks as we have in our inventory. And then we can use our hammer to vein mine this. So every time we are placing blocks, we are, in fact, gaining on our levels here, or at least we should be. Doesn't seem like we're gaining that much. It might take more blocks than I think it's going to take. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue to do this. Hopefully, we will level up on this perk eventually. Yeah, it's probably going to take me a whole bunch of block placing to do that. And then we will also look at filling this in as much as possible, too. I'm just going to go ahead and probably get rid of this off camera, but again, we're gonna leave the portals here until we get that sorted. So anyway, I'm gonna continue to do this. Whoop, spawn a bunch of mobs. I walked away. I'm gonna continue to do this, and we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. So it turns out, from what I can tell, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like 20 perk points is the most that you can have in Astral Sorcery. I couldn't get any more. I was sitting here breaking blocks and mining them, and I wasn't seeing the experience bar go up anymore. We had 20.5 levels. Yeah, and it didn't seem like it was going up any higher for me placing blocks and mining them, which is unfortunate. So there is like a cheaty way that you can do this. Well, okay, let me back up. I went ahead and I used the shifting star that we made earlier. The shifting star like removes your attunement perks and like your whole attunement. So I had to attune myself to Avitus, and we started back at level 0. And now I'm like redoing all of this mining and stuff. But yeah, there's kind of a cheaty way to do this. So our diamond wand here has mending on it, and our pickaxe has well established the copper part. So we get experience for every time we mine something. So if we vein mine this, we get more experience than what we use for the wand to place all these. So we get a little bit of experience back. You can see our wand is completely repaired. Now, if you want to be cheaty, more cheaty than that, and you can see how everything's highlighted here because I have my dank knoll on me that has a whole bunch of white concrete on it. I can right click that and then do a wand. Oops. Right click. Oops. It is using durability on my wand, as you can see here. But we are getting credit for every block that we are placing, and then we are immediately unplacing it by oopsing, right? So that's increasing our experience here. But it is like killing our durability, so we can just continue to do what we did before by placing a whole bunch of blocks, vein mining it, and getting that XP back to repair it. So that is a thing that we can do. But yeah, I'm trying to like get back to where we were with our health right now. Yeah, this is taking just a little bit of time. Again, I didn't realize when I first started this that 20 points seems to be the maximum that you can do with Astral Sorcery. Yeah, anyway, I wasted a bunch of time trying to get more experience. It's like, wait, nothing's happening here. Anyway, I'm going to continue to do this, try and get it back all the way up to 20 points, and then we'll continue on, guys. You know, with how easy it is to get another Quartz, since we already have Fortune 3, and we have Creative Flight, getting the Fortune 4 perk probably wasn't necessary. Probably. But it's still pretty cool to have regardless. So we need the Nether Quartz, we need the Certus, the Charge Certus Quartz, and then we also need Redstone. There we go. So that should get us, what is that, like 4 stacks of Fluix? I think that's pretty much what it gives us. I think you get 2 per, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, we got this going now, so we're going to have, yeah, 4 stacks of Fluix, so that's pretty cool. And then we can also grind this down and put it into the pure if we wanted to get more out of it. But honestly, I think we are pretty good at this point. So going back to the Astral Sorcery thing, I didn't quite get all 20 levels. It was just, like, once you hit 16, it takes so long to get a level. I didn't realize it was taking that long before. Yeah, to get to level 15 and stuff, like, that was pretty quick. But, yeah, this is taking, like, 4, 5, 6 times longer, it feels like, if not more. So anyway, we didn't get quite the amount of health. We were still a heart and a half down from where we were. But we did get over here to this +1 level of fortune, so that's pretty cool. And then we have +5% and a +4% ready to go that we can just activate whenever. And then we also have a +2%, which I don't really care that much about. But anyway, so I decided that I didn't really want to wait around and keep like messing with that to get the other perks. Yeah, it just was taking far too long. Anyway, so we want to do applied glass cable. This is what we're looking for. So that is the quartz fiber. And we have a bunch of those. That's awesome. Is it worth, you know what? It probably is worth for us to just go ahead and do pure. Let's grab the Fluix. Let's grab another stack. There's really no reason not to do this. We got plenty of sand now that I went ahead and I was trying to level up by doing this. Plenty of sand. We have the Fluix crystals. Yeah, so pretty much the only thing we need to do at this point is just put the crystals through the sag mill here. And I don't remember if you can potentially get extras this way if you had a grinding ball or not. You might be able to. Probably not, though. I know some things you don't get extra. But this will double the amount of Fluix that we have. We can just throw that into our crystal growth chamber, which is being tick accelerated through Astral Sorcery. So this should go a little bit faster than normal, although I'm not seeing that percent seem to go up like significantly faster at any point in time. Maybe this particular block isn't being affected by it. Yeah, we got a lot of machines nearby, and this thing can only affect so many machines, so maybe we just got unlucky on the random number generator, and this one is not being affected by it. Oh well. Anyway, we got plenty of speed here. This is going way faster than if we tried growing it normally in a puddle of water, so I am pretty happy with it regardless. So back over here, we need the fiber, and then that and that. 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks. I think that is plenty. So now we should be able to move some stuff around. As far as the ME terminal, I think we might just put it right here. I think that makes sense. We could put the ME terminal here, then we could do like a pattern terminal here, and maybe like the interface terminal here, and put like our drives over on this side. Or yeah, I'm really not sure where the best place to put this stuff is. I mean, I would like this thing to be centralized, but like in the very center, we have our elevator here. Yeah, I think just putting in the wall kind of makes sense. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we need to put our glass cable here. And then we got to figure out how we're going to run the cabling around. Eventually, we'll upgrade the ME glass cable to the dense cable, because I'm sure we're going to need more than just 8 channels. But for now, oops, did I break that block on the wrong side? Let's make sure we're looking at the right side here. So if I go down, yes, I certainly did break that in the wrong spot. So this is where we want our controller to be. So like right there, and then I'll put this block back so I don't like get confused again. All right. Yeah, so we want our controller to be here, and then that's gonna give us the channels to hook up to things like our terminal. So bring that over something like this. That goes over to the stairs, and then we will just like do a T-junction and come up here, and that'll connect right to where our terminal is gonna be, so that's good. And then as far as the drives, like I said, we're probably gonna put those on the other side so I can punch out some holes here, I guess. We can just stack them, that should be fine. So that's gonna need the cable here. And that'll connect right like that. Okay, very good. So pretty much the only thing we need to do is move the controller and then the drives in our terminal, and then we should be pretty well good to go. So let's do that now. The terminal, we can just pop right there. Yeah, so now we can walk up and do our stuff here. That'll be fine. Controller, we'll move downstairs. Controller can go right here, and then I guess the Spectre coil we'll put on the bottom side for now. Okay, that'll be just fine. And then the ME drives, I can't like shift pick those up or anything. Okay, so I'll do a space click here to remove all the drives. We'll move this one to here, and I'll space click those back in here. We'll put this at a higher priority. Actually, I think we'll keep this priority 0, and like our lower priority ones, we'll just set at a minus. Maybe that's what we'll do for now. I'm not really sure. We'll probably change this later. And that'll be the lower priority one. So yeah, everything should be hooked back up at this point. Yeah, we got access to our applied energistic stuff. Our drives are over here. The only thing that we could do now is get ourselves a quartz cutting knife. Let's do that real quick. One of these. And then we want to get some like iron or something. Iron should be just fine. Grab some of these cable inkers. And then with that, we can grab ourselves concrete, which I don't have in the system. I do have plenty of it right here. So we'll do concrete wrapped with these guys. So that'll get us the facades. And facades, we can just place right like that, and then you don't see around the terminal anymore. So that looks so much better. I'm sure we'll be getting plenty of use out of those things in the future. All right, so yeah, applied energistics is in a much better spot. I like it. We will be adding in more terminals, like I said. Let's go ahead and move on. If you're wondering how I've been filling this all in, I've been counting out 10 blocks away from each torch. So I'm placing the torches like I normally do, like where the X and Y, or I'm sorry, X and Z, they end on a 5 or they end on a 0. Yep, so I've been placing these strips along like so we have the light in place. And once we have all of that in place, then I will go ahead and use the builder's wand and fill in the rest of the blocks. But I definitely don't want to place this many blocks with the builder's wand without light around, because we're just going to have like a mob farm down here. We'll get like the charged creepers and all of those things spawning, and it'll just end up being like a big mess. So yeah, definitely need to get the light placed first, and then we can fill it all in. Alright, so I went ahead and I just made some Basalt rods. You can make that, as we saw before, with the compactor. Basalt powder in the compactor, 5 of them makes a rod. And the Basalt powder itself you get from obsidian infused with Essence of Knowledge, Essence, or Liquid XP. We have a lot of Liquid XP, guys. If we haven't seen this for a while, I'm going to show you pretty quickly how our XP is doing. We're up to 447 levels, 449 levels of XP in our experience obelisk here. Yeah, we are doing quite well on the whole experience situation. So yeah, I was able to fill up a portable tank, put that into the fluid transposer, grind up some obsidian. Yeah, so we did that. Pretty easy. Sugar infused tool rod is a thing that we have not done yet. So that is smelting sugar infused core. You can get 2 of these tool rods, and the sugar infused core is hardened rock candy plus sugar plus diamond. Well, let's go ahead and make these. So let's do, I don't know, how about 8? That seems like fairly reasonable. And we'll throw that into here. And I don't know if this like doubles it. Do we get 4 per, or we can get half a stack? Actually, don't even know. No, it looks like we don't get extras. Okay, and then we got a bunch of ores that I smelted up earlier. We can put those away as well. These, put these all away like so, and done. Awesome. Okay, so getting back to this, now we can make dislocators. So there's one. How many do we need before I just like make them all? We need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so I thought we only need 8. Apparently we need 9 of them. All right, so that's 9 to get to those dimensions. 2, 3, 4. Oh, and we are out of whatever that one was. The Blizzrod. Oops, I didn't realize we didn't have that readily available. So to make that, we need nitrate, niter, saltpeter with liquid XP. And we got plenty of nitrate to do this. So let me go ahead and make some more of those. We'll make these dislocators. And in fact, I probably want to make twice the amount as what we're going to make. 1 to warp to that dimension, and then 1 to warp back from that dimension on the other side. Alright guys, so I set up a bunch of teleporters here so we can go back and forth between different dimensions. Like if we wanted to go to the Twilight Forest, we just right click here. And this brings us to the Twilight, and right in front of us where we set our spawn, we have a dislocator to go back in case we made a mistake. All of our dislocators to warp back are set up here. And then our teleporters to go back to that other dimension are over here. Yeah. So we've done a good portion of them. Now I couldn't do one to the Lordcraft dimension. You are not allowed to build there, so I couldn't place a dislocator. I could probably set a warp there, but since I can't put a warp back, we might as well just use the Ascension Matrix if we want to go back and forth between that dimension. Everything else, we are pretty much good to go. And for those of you who haven't seen how these things work before, I figured we'd do one together. So Abyssal Gateway here. What is just hitting me? Okay, well anyway, I think we're gonna warp up here to like a safe area where like the things below can't see us. So this will be just fine. So I'll go ahead and put a dislocator pedestal here. And then we take our overworld one, put it here, right? And this is unbound, that's bound. Okay, and then we do a shift right click. And then whenever we use this warp, we should always warp back here facing this direction. Okay, so we have our overworld portal. And then we can just go ahead and place the one that we want over here. And this is called the Abyssal Wasteland. Can't type that all there, so we will do a 2 line. Done. Okay. And then this guy right here. Yeah. And like I said, as long as these things are on these dislocator pedestals, you can use them as many times as you want. If you can use them if they're in your inventory, but as you can see on the text there, it says 20 uses remaining, so you can only use it 20 times and then it just breaks. I mean, that might be a good way to get back home, so we can leave these in our inventory. There is one more dimension. Like when we go to the Abyssal Wasteland, we have to use a portal from the Abyssal Wasteland to go to the Dreadlands, and then from the Dreadlands we go to like another dimension, and so on and so forth. And we will look at putting those in there in the future. And now there is a little bit of a glitch that happens. You can see this dislocator pedestal is here. I think that's about the same XY location that I put it in the Abyssal Wasteland, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but if you right click on it, it just disappears. That thing doesn't actually exist there. I believe it's only there for when you place the dislocator in the other dimension. I don't know. Anyway, so a little bit of a weirdness. But now that we have all of this set up, we can get rid of all these different portals. We don't need these here anymore. And we no longer need the Urbis one or any of that stuff. We can get rid of this stuff. Yep, all this can go away. Now the Void Crystal, I think you want a Silk Touch. And like, if you break it normally, you get these shards back. I think it costs more. If I use my Silk Touch shovel, I'm just curious, Can we get the block? Oh, actually, you know what? We have a silk touch pickaxe, don't we? Yeah, we have this. So I should just be able to vein mine that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Everything else we can just go ahead and get rid of normally. I'm fairly certain we no longer need our Landia portal. The haunting dimension, we don't need this anymore. Gonna get rid of all of that. Yep. And we no longer have to listen to the stupid nether portal anymore, which is probably my favorite thing about this. I guess the Twilight also makes that nether portal sound as well. I think, can you place a block in there? Or do you just have to, you place water? How do you do this? You just break the block? There it is. Okay, so you break a block and then you fill in the water. Okay, there we go. No more portals. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the rest of this area here. Fill this all in with the rest of our white concrete. And then again, we can move on. All right, guys. So I think one of the next things that we should do is we should look at making ourselves an ME storage bus and attach this down all the way to our mob farm. So all the drops that we have down there are available on our main applied energistic system. So that does require us to have an ME interface, which in Kappa mode requires us to have 4 basic control circuits, a formation core and an annihilation core, and 2 pieces of glass. So the basic control circuits, we've seen that before. That's redstone plus a transistor to make those. And the transistor is the cheaper of the two. It's the capacitor that's more expensive. So this does require us to have black plastic. Now, the way this is set up, we have been pumping pretty much all of our air into this vortex tube to produce heat, which is just constantly draining our pressure and making us use coal and all of this stuff. So I went ahead and I added a, what is this thing called? It is called a regulator tube module. And this is essentially a way where you can give a redstone signal to stop flow of pressure or air down one path. So this thing costs 2 safety tube modules and a pressure tube. And that is, it's not really that expensive. Anyway, pressure gauge, whatever. So yeah, you place that in the direction, like if you're facing it this way, it'll stop stuff going this way when applied a redstone signal. So currently we have no redstone signal applied and we can see our pressures going down. If I flip this lever, you can see that we are no longer sending pressure that way. And it's essentially like I removed this pipe with this lever. So that's nice. This thing you can also configure if you only want to like trickle a little bit of pressure down that way. You can see the formula at the top there. So if you give a lower redstone signal, it'll only send so much pressure that way instead of like as much as it can. But yeah, we just want an on-off switch for this. Yeah, we want an on-off switch for that because our plastic mixer here requires this thing to be heated, or I'm sorry, our thermopneumatic processing plant requires heat in order for it to make liquid plastic, and we were running out of that. And I had this, we broke that tube a while ago just because we kept going through all of our coal just to keep that thing running. Anyway, we can have the 4 black plastic that we need, and that should be everything that we need in order to do this. Now, if you guys haven't seen this yet with the speed upgrades in here, it goes pretty quickly, which is awesome. So I believe it's just those items there. You can see it just drops them all in there like so. And then to get the items out, it's that fast. Yep, that's really cool. Okay, well anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this set up here and bring the cables down. We'll get our mob drops all hooked up to the applied energistic system. There's probably a better way to get this hooked up, but since we have the controller, or I guess the connector down here, and one side has the advanced item collector on, the other side has our Ender IO item conduit extracting into the trash can. Yeah, we're kind of limited on the options that we can connect to this thing. Well, anyway, we have our cable connected here, and this goes all the way up here. And yeah, so we should be able to connect. Let me add this cable, this one, that one, and that one. So now that should be connected along with all of our other stuff, and we should be able to see, like, for instance, all the redstone that we have down below. Yeah, now we got 12,000 redstone available, which is just absolutely crazy, the amount that we have. Now, some of the things that are interesting, like the iron that we have down there, we have some in this system, but we could set it to a higher priority downstairs. So whenever we put iron into our applied energistic system, it'll hit those barrels down there first. In fact, we should probably go do that now. So we want this to be the highest priority of the network. Well, actually, I'm not so sure. Because now whenever we put anything into our applied energistic system, it's going to try and drop it right into this barrel. Maybe what we should do... Let's set that to high priority, but we will set this to extract only. That way, it'll always try and pull items from here first. I'm not really sure the best way to get this hooked up, because I don't want these barrels filling up with stuff, and they're going to be filling up with stuff from the mob farm, right? Yeah, I don't really know the best way to do this. Well, anyway, for right now, we should just be able to not fill up our barrels and extract out of here at the highest priority. So I think that should be good enough. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and leave it here for today. Got some things to kind of think about on that. Yeah, especially since we're getting random items down there in the mob farm. Maybe we could set like, set up the item collector onto a chest, and then from that chest, we can delete items that we don't want or put everything else into the barrels. That way, that way we're sorting before. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it all out. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.